she's the coordinator of the National Committee to Free the Cuban Five. Leonard Weinglass was going to be here with us today, but he was injured, and his doctor told him he couldn't travel. Gloria Riva is here with a message from Leonard Weinglass.
Sisters and brothers, when we talk about resistance against U.S. domination, Cuba is one of the greatest examples of a country and a people who have resisted and overcame U.S. domination and are determined to keep their country free. Cuba is free and independent of U.S. domination. And yet the United States government and the Pentagon has never stopped trying, using terrorism and blockade and every means to try to destroy the Cuban Revolution. I have a special statement from Leonard Weinglass, who was one of the appeals attorneys of the Cuban five men who are imprisoned in the United States. This is from Mr. Weinglass. He came to the United States after the Cuban Revolution took power and settled in Miami. Together with Confederates, he masterminded the first bombing of a commercial airliner in midair, killing all 73 on board the Cubana airline. His associates assassinated a Cuban diplomat in New York and firebombed the Cuban mission to the United Nations. His associates and him also arranged the killing of the ex-Chilean ambassador Orlando Letelier here in Washington, together with Ms. Ronnie Moffett, an American 30 years ago. More recently, they plotted a bombing campaign in Havana, targeting tourist hotels, killing an Italian tourist as he sat in a hotel lobby. In an official report, the U.S. Justice Department labeled him the leading terrorist in the Western Hemisphere. His name is Orlando Bosch, and his partner in those crimes, Luis Posada Carriles, sneaked into the United States 2 years ago with his associates, and the Bush administration refuses to extradite him for trial in Venezuela. And yet Orlando Bosch, the terrorist, lives as an honored citizen in Miami and is given a front row seat when the President of the United States comes to speak. How is this possible? It is possible because he is part of what Nelson Mandela referred to as a vicious campaign waged against the Cuban government and its people from these shores for decades. Protests from Cuba about not just the harboring of terrorists, but the training and equipment of the terrorists has fallen on deaf ears here and at the United Nations. That is when 5 brave Cuban men volunteered to come to southern Florida to monitor these groups and warn their countrymen of impending attack. They were arrested by the FBI almost 9 years ago and prosecuted before a Miami jury in what a federal appeals court ruled was a violation of their fundamental right to a fair trial. Despite that, they remain in maximum security prison, now going on their 9th year while serving life sentences, while 2 have been denied visits from their wives. They deserve your support, sisters and brothers. Join with the more than 300 Free the 5 support groups around the world in over 90 countries and here in the United States. Learn more about the 5. Check out our website, freethefive.org. Free the Cuban